What does making top four mean for Manchester United? Well, for one, it means playing Champions League football, but also it's an opportunity for the club to assess the team's progression under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's been at the club for over a year now. I think it's about a year and 6 months. He knows the players, he knows the club. He's had a couple of transfer windows. Let's see how well he does against Europe's elite. And can this team really compete in this competition? We'll find out how much this team has really improved since the last time they were in this competition. Because the last time Man United was able to miraculously overturn a 2-0 deficit against PSG, winning the leg on aggregate 3-3. And then in the next part of the competition, in the quarterfinals, they lost 4-0 to Barcelona. So two very, very different results. And I guess we'll see if something like that happens again. It's also an opportunity for the club to sign Jadon Sancho. And I say maybe because, I think Dortmund are very, very clear. They're saying put the money on the table and you can have him. But I think if Man United qualify for the top four, Dortmund may be able to, reduce their price tag because Sancho may try and get out this summer. Also, it's an opportunity for the club to keep their best players. Rashford, Pogba, Martial. I know Bruno just arrived, but it's well known that if top players aren't winning the top trophies, they're going to try and look for the exit door at some point, and it could happen very, very soon at United. We saw what happened with Kyle Walker. He left Tottenham, started winning trophies at City, and then all the other Tottenham players started, looking for the exit door basically. Eriksen is one of those players. There's also less of a chance to play youth players. The Champions League is not a competition you want to risk playing, youth players or just new players in general. You want to try and slowly weed them into the team. Um, and this might be a problem because, we know Mason Greenwood, he actually came through the Europa League. He was playing, Europa League football, men's football, and that's how he's able to get confidence and to be able to kind of join the first team. But this pathway isn't going to exist if Man United qualify for the Champions League. There's also less rest for the starting 11. And what this means is there's going to be probably quite a few injuries next season to key players. I always hate to say it, I never like to see injuries to players, but when you're playing 2 to 3 games a week, it's bound to happen at some point. And, I don't know what Ollie's going to do because normally he doesn't rotate players anyway. The squad's quite thin. United doesn't really have a plethora of options besides the starting 11, so it'll be interesting to see what he does next season. And this is something I wanted to mention as well, but the club has had its worst season in 30 years. So it's kind of hard to imagine that the club has really improved at all. In fact, it's probably true that the club has gone backwards. I know you can probably say, well, they're challenging for the top four, but a lot of the clubs around United at the moment aren't doing that well either. Like they're having really bad seasons, apart from Leicester, and I think they're probably overachieving this season. So it probably goes to show how bad United are actually doing um, this season. And the last point I want to mention is that Man United still has no style of play. I don't count counter-attacking football as a style of play. That's just a kind of default. Uh, it's a default strategy that any manager can use to try and win football games. You need to have a style of play that you can play week in, week out, even when the team isn't playing well. Because when the team isn't playing well, at least you have your style of play to kind of fall back on. But if you don't really have a distinguished, playing style, then there is no plan B. There's nothing you can really fall back on, and um, things can get very ugly very quickly because once the season starts, you can't really reverse anything, and it's something always gonna have to address in the summer if United are gonna have a good season next season.